Hello, everybody. My name is Bray Wyckoff. I'm the director of Kingdom Writers Association, and we are having another KWA Author Spotlight. And today we have Lawrence Wood with us, and we're excited to be talking to Larry, Dr. Larry, and he's here in the studio today for this interview, and I'm excited to introduce you to my friend. He's one of our vision leads at KWA. He's done some incredible books. He's a storyteller. He's got several books here that we're going to be talking through. But more importantly, Larry's got stuff to bless us with through his writing career. So as you guys are listening to this interview, I want you to understand that you are going to receive something from Larry as we discuss his writing process and some of the struggles he's gone through. And the breakthroughs as well. So be blessed, everyone, and prepare your hearts to receive something very special today with this interview. So welcome, Larry. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about all this.
We've been laughing in the studio.
Yeah, that's right. There's an hour and a half you have not seen.
You'll never see. But so this is how it starts. I said, Larry, this is all about you, okay? And he does this.
You're right.
Okay, yeah, that looks good. And I'm like, hello? So this is what you guys are going to get today. I'm sorry. It's just not going to be fun for you at all.
And you may get blessed in the process. That you may.
If you don't, we are.
That's right. Shame on you.
I think we're more excited because we get to see each other face to face.
Yeah, that's right. That's
isolated for so long. All right, guys, let's kick this interview off. I'm excited to be blasting Larry with several questions. And I'll probably throw in some extra questions just to throw him off. So, Larry, I love this question. How did publishing your first book change your process of writing or change you personally?
Well, the process, it didn't change at all. My process is know how the book is going to start and know how it's going to end.
That's good.
The middle
part
will take care of itself. And I figure out how to get to the end. But that's how I start everything. But what did change for me is from the first to the second book is putting in detail.
So we're talking about his first book, Among Pigeons, a novel, and then he has a sequel to it. And this is the one he's talking about, Death Among Pigeons, or Love and Death Among Pigeons is a sequel to this one. They're all available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. They're fantastic reads, about a homeless man. There's some detectives in there.
Yeah.
This whole process of the story is incredible.
They're crime stories, and but the protagonist in these stories that you don't see in other crime stories, it's a homeless man.
Yeah.
So he has the opportunity to solve crime.
Yeah, and this is based off of Larry having a personal encounter with a homeless man, and how you were making fun of him and that whole process, and then you wanted to go back in life saying that we did that man wrong.
Yeah, we
did that man wrong, and you never found him, but you wrote this book based off of that experience, fictionalized, and then bringing in the whole crime thing, which is really cool. I love how God orchestrates things that we've done in our lives, and then we bring these in, and we have truth hidden within the fiction.
So the interesting thing about the guy that you're speaking of, John the Bum, I have no idea what his real name is, but
that's what you called him.
That's what we called him. He turned out to be one of the most influential people in my life.
Wow.
A guy, a bum.
Yeah.
Somebody I didn't like.
Yeah.
Somebody I never had a conversation with.
Right.
But yet,
You're writing
Book
books about them.
Yeah, books, screenplays.
Yeah, changed your life.
Had me and my wife started uh, um, a home for homeless veterans.
Wow.
All that comes from that guy when I was a little kid.
Wow. How old were you when you were interacting with John the Bum?
Oh, 9, 10, 11.
Okay.
That along those lines.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A 9, 10, 11-year-old, and then now look at where you know, as a 20-year-old, and what you're doing has changed your life.
It's just amazing.
It's amazing.
I was being set up all along by God. All along.
You know, guys, it's a setup. The Lord has set us up. So just prepare yourself. You've been set up, and just go for it.
The next homeless person you encounter, it's a setup.
It's a setup. Oh, the angels. Why do angels always appear as bums? Why? What is that? All right, here's another question for you, Larry. What are a common trap or traps for aspiring writers to be aware of, or something that you've encountered?
Yeah. Well, the same ones I encountered early on, and that's, I would say, 2 of them. Excuses. Anything will work. Any excuse. You know, I walked the dog when I was supposed to be writing.
Right.
So I missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
So
got dishes
I'll do it
yeah.
tomorrow.
Mow the lawn.
You know, yeah. Then I watered the garden. So
yeah.
Anything.
Right.
And then when you finally sit down to write, when you finally let the excuses go and you start to sit down and write, you're typing and you're going and you say, you know, that wasn't the right word. I should have used another word. What other word can I use other than milk? I don't know.
It was a white frothy liquid. What are you saying? Milk?
Yeah.
Your editor.
So
milk.
So you're editing the whole time, and you just won't allow yourself to get the story out.
That's so
just good. Get the story out. That's what you need to do.
That's good.
Stop the editing.
That is a powerful trap that people get caught into, of self-editing as you go. And I don't mind, you know, there might be little fixes.
Yeah,
you know,
little.
Don't worry about that. We're not talking about that.
Right.
But something that's gonna just, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Like you won't move forward until this paragraph is perfect, or that particular word needs to be found. Instead, just highlight that word and make a note saying change word and move on.
Yeah.
And because you want to have that momentum of creativity, just let it flow out. And that's where we encourage people to write it, get it out, and then go back for the full edit.
If it takes you more than a few seconds to figure out another word for milk, just keep milk in there, okay?
Yeah, just go with milk.
Keep going. You'll come back to it later.
All right, and so every author, writer has well, you know, every, like Superman has his kryptonite, right, that can defeat him. What is your kryptonite as a writer?
Mike, well, I don't think I have a kryptonite. I have a procrastinite. That's what I have. That's what that is.
Oh, procrastinate. I love it. That is fantastic.
Because I'm one of those people, any excuse will do. You know, oh, the sun is up. Oh, no need to write now. We'll wait till this evening. Oh, the sun is down. It's too dark. No need to write now. So procrastinate is my kryptonite.
Yeah.
Oh, can I ask you this question? This is an aside. Please give us a.
Why does the interviewer?
Why does Superman? Why is he bothered by kryptonite anyway? I don't know.
I don't know.
He
It's like,
comes from Krypton,
oh,
right?
right. It's his home planet.
So what is it? He got a piece of home,
Yeah, exactly.
and it bothers
How
him.
your home hurts you, I have no idea. It's just
it's issues with his mother.
see, this is the creative genius that Larry brings out. He has these radical questions. Earlier we were talking about Mary the vampire killer. And we're talking Mary the mother of Jesus.
They will never get it. They'll never understand. You'll have to explain
So if you
that
feel
later.
called and stirred to write that book, go for it.
It's all yours.
It's all yours. You guys get this. This guy is a brilliant storyteller. He's got 2 books out for the series. He's working on the 3rd one. He's working on some other stuff that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Also, this guy wrote this amazing Christmas story called The Strawberry Tree. And that's available now. And this is a perfect time. We're in Christmas. This makes for a great gift. And it's a short read, but it's a beautiful family type story to read together, around the table, around the tree kind of thing. And fantastic. So
and this one, PBS got hold of the story. They liked it and wanted to know if it was animated. So that means a script needs to be written. So, I wrote the script, but that's just the first draft.
Right.
I'm trying to get it right now.
PBS, come on, I love it. That's breakthrough for the kingdom.
Amen.
That's getting the word out for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all right, so we found your procrastinate. So you got these crime novels, and what was the hardest scene to write for you in these crime novels?
Okay, so you remember, I'm going to give you a Jesus answer, okay?
Okay. What other answer is there? He is the answer.
That's right. But you remember one of the religious leaders came to Jesus and said, and asked him, what's the greatest commandment?
Right.
And he said, to love God with all your heart, your mind, and your soul, right?
Right.
That's the greatest.
Yeah.
But he didn't stop there.
Right.
He said, and the same is just is the love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Right.
It's just as important as the first.
Yeah.
So I have a 2-part answer, just like Jesus had a 2-part answer.
Okay.
So, with it, and you know this very well, and I'm sure many of you out there as well know it as well too, that when you, in the beginning, when you first open up your chapter or your scene, your book, whatever, every scene takes place somewhere at some time, with somebody, saying or doing something.
That's right.
And all those variables, that's like, well, where's the somewhere? And what time is it going to be?
Right.
And who is it going to be? And what are they going to? That's a lot of stuff to try and figure out. How am I going to? Where am I going to start this story?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is very difficult. Once you get that down,
right, then you get some traction.
Then you get some traction. You're right. But here's the second part.
Here's the kicker.
The second scene or the second chapter, I think, is just as important because, all right, you've created the world.
Yep.
You've introduced your characters, and you've pulled people in.
Yep. Now
what?
Now what do you do with them?
It's the second chapter that says, I believe, to the reader, oh, I'm going to go with this.
Yeah.
You got my attention, but the second chapter better keep me going, or I'll just say,
It's so true, Larry, because we've read tons of books where the first chapter hooks us.
Yep.
And then I get lost in the second, third chapter.
Right.
And I'm like they put all of their attention on that first chapter.
Right.
Like they made that sparkly clean, and it was like just profound. It grabbed me, and then the second and third one was like it just bogged down, it
Right,
slowed, it
right,
lost the luster.
right.
And I'm like, what am I reading?
It's I mean, how many movies have you seen where they can really grab you? It's pretty easy, you
Yeah,
know. There's the
yeah,
big explosion,
yeah,
or somebody gets kidnapped, or somebody or something
yeah.
dramatic, very dramatic. So you're
That's
like,
usually the opening scene, right?
oh
Yeah.
yeah. And then after that, 20 minutes later, you're like, what
Well,
is this story
go
about?
back to what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. That is hard to do. It's hard. Those will be the hardest scenes sometimes for people, is just starting where to start from,
Right.
the timing of it, especially if you're dealing with that was what I had with Demons and Thieves.
Hmm.
I didn't know the time, because
Right.
there's so
Yeah.
many variables with
Yeah.
AD 33,
Right. Right.
BC this. When
Right.
did Jesus start his
Right.
ministry?
Right.
And then the Lord said, just start a countdown to the cross, 20
Mhm.
years to the cross.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard, and
Yeah.
it's getting the right timing is
There's
it
so
can be
much.
difficult.
You got to figure out where are you going to start your
Yeah,
story.
but start
And,
somewhere.
yeah, you got to start somewhere,
And
and just start.
just start, and then some. And what happens when you start is it gets cleaned up
Yeah, it does.
through the process.
Absolutely does.
Something, as you write, something gets jarred loose, and you're like, let me go back and fix
Right.
that.
Absolutely.
And so that's brilliant. All right, what does literary success look like to you, Larry? What does it look like? Literary success. I mean, the world says one thing. What does Larry think about literary success?
Uh, well, I guess it comes in three parts, really. One, you have to ask yourself, did I complete something?
Okay, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't care whether it's a, a poem, a
yeah,
book, screenplay, whatever you're writing.
right,
Did you complete it?
right.
Because
If you did it,
if
that's
you
probably
did,
not going to be successful.
yeah, that's
You gotta have a
right.
finish line,
Yeah,
right?
you gotta cheer yourself on for something.
Right.
Did I set out to do something,
Yeah,
and did I finish it?
yeah,
Yeah, I did.
yeah.
So that's the one. I
That's so
set
good.
out to write a book. I wrote a book. Boy, I'm all
Yeah,
right.
good job, man. You wrote three. You wrote three.
And then after that it's well, you wrote it for a reason.
Right.
So I'm writing something to either teach you or entertain you with.
Hmm.
So I want to know from Bray or the Brays of the world, or
Yeah.
everybody, did you get my drift?
Right.
I wrote it for. I wanted you to understand something.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
And if you did, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Exactly.
I got another. And so then the third question about success is, well, can I make a living at this?
Right.
Mm.
Right.
And see, that's where people get messed up
I agree.
on
Yep.
that one. They concentrate on that one. And if
Yeah.
they can't make a living at it, then for some people, I'm not a success. I'm not a writer. This is not where I belong.
Yeah.
So, and when I think, when those thoughts come to my head, I say to myself, when Matthew wrote his book,
Yeah.
when Luke wrote his book,
Right.
were they thinking about being bestsellers?
Right.
No,
Being the #1 bestseller of all time.
they were trying to tell a story.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And they became bestsellers.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to your first point of the three is completing it, right? Finishing something and being okay with, like, that's literary success.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. Like, I did what I was called to do by God. God called me to write this. I wrote it.
Right.
I did my job.
Right.
There
you go.
And then you can move into the other parts, or you can get caught up with the marketing side of it and
Right.
trying to sell millions of books. And
Mm-hmm.
we all want that as kingdom writers.
Right.
We desire that. Why? Not so much for the sales. Some people do get caught up with the money part of it,
Right.
but to reach more people for Christ, right?
Yeah.
Our goal is to get this in the hands of somebody.
I'm trying to teach somebody something. I'm not just. it's just not to get something out.
Right.
That's part of it, but I'm trying to teach somebody
Right.
something.
I've got something inside of me to impart to you, to
Yeah.
bless you with. And so yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I love your breakdown of that. All right, what are you working on now? What's going on now, Larry?
Oh, yeah.
You got these 3 books out. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
the Lord's got something cooking.
Yeah.
You always got something in the
Yeah.
oven, and so what's going on now?
Well, I got several things going, but I think the 3 major things is from these books right here. We're in pre-production now for a TV series, a pilot anyway.
Yeah. So just a background, Larry's transition from writing books to writing screenplays and delving into the film industry.
Yeah.
He's been in commercials with him and his wife, and he's directed some things. So he's moving into that screenplay, and bringing these books to life.
Right.
So
yeah, thank you. So we're in pre-production here. It's been slowed because of the situation caused by the virus, but we're waiting. We plod along. We're waiting for a budget to be announced and other things to be announced before they say, okay, this is your start date. This is when we get going. So that's one thing. But in the meantime, I know COVID has been a hard thing for a lot of people.
It's been
but
crazy.
For me, it's been beautiful.
Beautiful for the writers and screenplay writers. And
it's been a blessing for me, really. It has been.
Yeah.
Because once the Featherman got sidelined for a while, put in a holding pattern, I got the opportunity to write more screenplay.
Yeah. And so he said the Featherman, and that's based off of Among Pigeons. So the title's changed for the screenplay. It's called the Featherman.
Yeah, right.
Just so you guys keeping track with us here.
Yeah.
This vampire slayer. There's no vampires going in this book, by the way, just so you know. It's not one of those books.
But I'm thinking about it.
We're having I don't know. I think me and Larry got something going on here. The Lord's up to something. What are you doing, Lord?
And then, so I wrote a screenplay, which I will have a review of that screenplay coming up in a few days with a producer.
Nice.
And
be praying for that, everybody.
Yeah, please do. And it's based on a free Black family in the antebellum South who has to decide who has to decide whether they want to harbor a runaway slave.
Okay. Yeah.
So that situation that they would get brought up into, I find that fascinating.
Yeah, that's powerful.
So yeah, that's written and it's first draft, but it'll get better once I talk to the person.
And what's this project called? Do we have a title for it?
13 Finches.
13 Finches. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it's a great title. I like it.
And then the one I'm reaching now is 3 days. I mean the numbers, I guess.
Yeah. 13 Finches.
And 3.
Now we're going to 3 days. So what's 3 days about?
So
why 3 days?
Why not 7?
Yeah. 3.5 days.
Yeah. So just think of this. There is a void when you think of Jesus' death on the cross, his burial.
Okay. We're talking about the 3 days.
Yeah, the 3 days.
That's a big day. 3 days. Yeah.
From his burial till he rose.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about
what
that
happened
in between.
Right.
And I'm fascinated by what happened. The Bible doesn't give us any clues.
Right.
So that means I'll do it.
The Lord's just giving you a blank script, blank piece of paper, and he'll just draw something up.
Yeah,
And you go for it,
I'm
Larry.
gonna do it. So
Bless you, Lord.
I will just, figure out who my characters will be, and just take them through those 3 days.
I think this would be a great time to introduce Mary the vampire.
Yeah, that's right. That's what she was doing.
Jesus comes back saying, "No, mom, no, mom.
Mary with this
my
huge
job.
sword.
It's my job, mom."
The demon slayer, Mary, the demon slayer.
Jesus comes back.
Chill, mom.
Mom, I got this. Come on. Don't take all my fun. See, you get us together.
And Mary rides off like Joan of Arc.
You guys right now are getting sparked some ideas. The Lord is dropping ideas. Do not discount those ideas. They're going to be fun stories. And sometimes you just got to go with it.
Yeah, because I know somebody out there is going like,
that's a good idea. Go for it. I'll read it. I'll read it. Will you read it?
The one that's going right now.
As long as you put us in the acknowledgments.
That's you.
Thank
that's
you, Bray and Larry, for this amazing idea. It was the Holy
Mary,
Spirit.
the demon slayer. Oh
Lord. Okay. So that's fun. You're moving into screenplays.
Yeah,
you got, dealing with, Hollywood type people, and that's a whole other, you thought publishing was messed up.
Yeah.
Hollywood's messed up too.
Yeah.
So when I say messed up, meaning it's very difficult to navigate.
Absolutely.
And so as believers, we continually pray for one another, and we just bless this guy as he's traversing down the territory that's been controlled by the enemy for a long time. And but we have avenues and breakthrough. We have a God that's for us, not against us. Yep. And so where there's no way, he makes a way. And so just be praying for Larry and his projects and what he's got going on. So that's fun to be doing. Do you do any filming yourself, or the directing process? Have you enjoy that? Or I know you enjoy the screenplay part.
I love it. That's part of what got Hollywood's attention, because they did a commercial and a short film.
That's right.
And the commercial reached a level of Emmy contention.
Wow.
So that got somebody's attention. And
where is that on YouTube? People can see that. Is that on your website, or where do you got that snookered away somewhere? You guys go to his website, Lawrence A. Wood MD.com. Lawrence, LAWRENCE A. Wood WOOD MD.com.
Yeah, and I think I put it on the website.
Yeah,
but I know it's up on YouTube.
Yeah. So look for that and share that. Get that word out. More buzz creates, more people seeing it. That's fun. Yeah. That's fun. All right. I got a couple more questions. We'll finish up. What is the one thing you wish everybody knew when it comes to writing and being creative? Yeah. Okay. Because that's a big question. We're talking about writing. Yeah, so what is the one thing you wish everybody knew that you didn't know before?
Thinking is not writing. And that's but that's
right,
not
explain that.
To downplay thinking, because that's where we spend most of our time, really.
Right.
Really.
Pondering, thinking. Yeah.
You get an idea and you go through it, and it blossoms or it fizzes away,
right.
And you start to outline things, and you're thinking about it. But at some point, you have to stop thinking and just write.
Right.
Because thinking will never blossom.
Yeah.
The way actually writing it. Because once you start writing it, oh my goodness, how your mind just
it opens up a whole new world. Yeah.
So you can only think for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. And then I love I wanted to talk to you also about exploring colorful language for characters.
Yeah.
And this is an extra question I had for Larry, and it's just talking about, because he's got colorful people in here. A homeless man. It's a crime novel. You got detectives. How they talk in real life matters, and when we're dealing with storytelling as Christians, as believers, that can be a tough thing to navigate.
It was difficult for me. I had to get encouragement from my wife and other people.
Yeah.
But
and I'm talking specifically about language.
Yeah.
When you're doing dialogue, you're going to see, the F word or, the S word. You're seeing these words that people normally say out in the world in these circumstances.
And of course, I created these people.
Right.
But they're real people.
Right.
And they talk the way people talk.
Yeah.
Whatever character. In here is a minister, and he's a pastor, and he speaks like one.
Right.
Roman is homeless. He's a former gangbanger.
Right.
He doesn't talk like the pastor.
Right. Exactly.
And many of his friends, they don't talk like that.
Yeah.
So for Christian writers, I think we just don't want to be perceived as not holy, not Christian, worldly. And but you should tell the story. Just tell the story.
Tell the story, yeah. That's good.
And if you're a Christian, and of course I won't say if you're a Christian, you're a Christian.
Yep.
Trust me, in that writing, somewhere along the way, God is going to show up.
Yep.
Yeah. He doesn't show up. Well, I was about to say he won't show up in Roman, the character in among Pigeons, but that's not true. It's not true. He does show up in Roman. He's just not identified as, oh, this is the voice of God.
Right. Yeah, sometimes we get caught up in the holiness, and which is great to be caught up in the holiness, but as writers telling a story, we get so caught up in it we miss the character development. And it doesn't mean and what we're saying is we don't have to go down that road, but you have this option to, and God's okay with it. I've struggled with it too. It's one of the hardest things to do is to write a colorful character like that. And bring in that realism. But how are we going to reach the one if we don't, make these characters raw and real, and give the opportunity for the Holy Spirit to lead them back to Him.
And I was speaking this when we were meeting in person.
Yeah.
I was speaking to one of the writers, and we were just chit-chatting. And he has some colorful stuff to say in his writing.
Yeah.
And kind of dark.
Yeah.
And I just told him, I said, that's okay. Take people there. Just don't leave them there.
Don't leave them there.
Don't leave them there.
Yeah, that's a good word. Take them there, but don't leave them there. That's good. Yeah, I agree. That's so good. All right, Larry, final question that I love to ask everybody is, why do you write? What is your reason?
Well, growing up, being an introvert, I keep to myself a lot. I think a lot. I find myself thinking differently than people. They come to different conclusions.
Yeah.
And I've noticed all along through my whole life that I'm just different.
Yeah.
And if occasionally I express myself in my difference, then I'm like,
I do the same, Larry.
So
I'm tracking.
That's why I go. But that's why I go to the page, to the page, the blank page.
Yeah.
Because no matter what I write, no matter how I write it, whether I have regard for the rules of writing or not,
Yeah.
the blank page accepts me.
I love it.
I get acceptance there. I can write anything, you know, and not be judged by the paper.
Yeah, that's so good.
So, and I, you know, I got things to say and stuff, and I don't always want somebody looking at me like,
Well, I wait until you turn around.
Yeah, when this interview's over, I'll walk out the door.
I'll be looking at you guys going,
"Oh my God,
Lord.
forget that stuff." I'm so sorry, people. I didn't know.
Good thing it's not live. You guys get his books. It's on his website. It's all on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Love and Death Among Pigeons is a sequel to Among Pigeons. And he's a brilliant storyteller. I love the way he's created his characters. You would learn a lot by reading Larry's works. It'll help you in your writing endeavors because you're going to see these colorful characters come to life. And when you see another Kingdom writer getting their breakthrough and doing something, it helps the whole community get breakthrough. And that's the difference with Kingdom writers compared to worldly writers. Worldly writers, they're on their own. Kingdom writers, we do this together. And so learn from one another. Invest and sow into Kingdom writers, and then learn from their writing skills. Because God has navigated and breathed life in these stories, and they're just so much fun. And you get to know this guy better reading his work, and so that's the brilliance of this as well. So thank you, Larry, for this amazing interview. We had a good time.
Oh yeah,
and we'll have more good times even after we turn this off. We'll be laughing.
So turn it off quickly so we can get to the good stuff.
So I hope everyone's being blessed by these interviews, and we'd love to hear your feedback from it as well. So we love you. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.